Good day, podcast community. I'm Pete Kane. A lot of people call me Podcast Pete. So today, mentally drained now. 3 strategies to handle the mental challenges of life. Now, let me first say, I just found out about the framework of this from Brendan Bouchard, one of my mentors, one of my main mentors. And what they say is teach it as soon as you get it, so you learn it. So I'm going to teach you a framework that's from Growth Day. We're going to put notes in, we're going to put the summary of the notes in the notes. Okay? Are you ready? Okay. Number 1, social media. Now, I can really speak to this one more than most. I haven't been on social media in 2 years. What I mean by that is I started 10 years ago on social media, so I understand it. But I decided to cut it out of my life. No scrolling, no consuming content, likes, comments, all that, gone. And let me tell you why it's so important. Your mental condition, when you scroll, you have to make judgments. You have to decide, do I like it? Do I comment? And if you're spending time consuming content, then you're not creating. So there's a big difference between those C's. And I have been able to experience it for 2 years. You can go on my social media platforms, especially Facebook or Instagram, or you'll see somebody else posting, but you won't see me. You won't see me scrolling. You won't see me consuming. You'll see me creating content. Google my name. You can see the difference. A couple years ago now, there was a stroke, and there was a reason why I decided to get off social media. And what I discovered was a mental clarity, a peace, a purpose that I didn't anticipate when I started eliminating it from my life. The average person's about 30 to an hour and a half of scrolling per day. So when you take that out of your life, you take an underlying stress, because when you're looking at things and you're scrolling, one, they pay PhDs to keep you occupied on their platform. They're good, talented people. And if you think that you're going to be able to go up against so many people that are programming your mind to stay on their platform, you're in for a big disappointment, because they're going to win. Just like there's 6,000 marketing messages a day. If you don't have a purpose, they have one for you. I call it get off the busy bus, get on the purpose plane. So when you start putting a purpose to who you are, you make better decisions. You make better decisions on where you spend your time. Except you're not accepting the norm. You're doing it your way. And you're managing your life with purpose versus reacting. So many of us, we default when we have a few minutes, just go out to dinner and look around the room and see the numbers of people, families, just captivated by this. It was never intended to be that way. You connect with people emotionally, not through this. You connect with them by talking to people, by emotionally talking to people. I don't text like most. I call. I'm done by 1, and then I connect. And what it does, We're emotional beings. We're relationship people. When you sever it with this, let me see, with this, you cut off the emotion that we have in us. And you're not going to get emotion in a text, an email. You're going to get the emotional connection to people by talking to them. So next time you go to a restaurant, put the phone away. Talk to the people you're with. Next time you're in a room, put the phone away and talk to people and test it. You're addicted and you don't even know it. I had a client, she's just finishing up, and we were just talking about her habits. And she identified 84 hours a month that we just default to say Instagram. I think that was the platform. And so you just kind of scroll and you look and you watch and you don't know what you're doing to your brain when you do that. So that becomes a habit, a default. So she took it off her phone. You have to create those barriers. And so when you free up 84 hours a month to put it towards your purpose, your goals, your future, you better believe it's going to make a difference. Now, the first week, going to be tough. The first couple weeks going to be tough because your brain is so used to that habit. But you can create new habits by doing things. It's a different podcast for a different day. It's called Power. It's called Atomic Habits, James Clear. Stack all those habits on top of each other and you take the willpower out of something and you put so many, and I did it when I was at Overture. I was at the gym at 5:00 every morning for almost 2 years. I was there almost 2 years. That's because I stacked all the habits on top of each other. Are there some mornings you wake up and you don't feel like doing something? Sure, that's common. But if you have, I'm going to journal, I'm going to meditate, I'm going to pray, I'm going to drink my coffee, I'm going to be in a silence, I'm going to be my time, my zone, I'm going to plan the day, I'm going to write out the day. All those habits are stacked, so it's stacked in your favor. So if I was thinking like, I don't feel like doing it today, well, look at all the benefits I stacked on that habit. So then it was easy to go and work out at 5 a.m. every morning. The only exception is I busted my ribs in 3 weeks of hell. Breathing, sneezing. Oh my gosh. If you've busted your ribs before, you know what I'm talking about. This is a side note, but I called a friend of mine who's into that kind of health. He was concierge and he was the health side of it. And I told him what happened. He goes, good news and bad news. Good news is you're alive and you have to breathe. Bad news is when you do breathe, you're going to wish you did because it's the chest expanding and the ribs are either broken or bruised, whatever they are. There's nothing you can do. So he said, there's nothing you can do besides a Tylenol to kind of take, because you can't do anything. I couldn't sleep in a bed. I had to sleep in a chair upright. And he said, it's going to be 3 weeks of hell. And he was right. It was 3 weeks of hell. But it was almost like at that moment after the 3 weeks, it was fine. So he knew what he was talking about. But I say that to say this. Habits, they make a difference. And if your habit is you're conditioned by social media, that's where the mental part of it's going to affect this. It's going to affect your mindset. And you probably don't even realize it until you cut it out. Put this thing away for social media for 30 days. Try to do it. See how you do. I did it. I did 30-day test for a lot of things just to prove I could do it. But in this case, for your mental, we're getting into the most exciting time of our lifetime. And I'm 67, so I've been around a few years, but we're getting into some crazy, exciting times. And you want to be mentally sharp. You want to be focused. You want to set goals. You want to have a purpose. You want to jump off that purpose bus and onto the purpose plane. Busy bus onto the purpose plane. There's a video out there you can search, and you can see my video on that. Trexa did a wonderful graphic, so you can kind of see what that was. So really get back to doing the things that'll mentally give you the edge. And when you do that, because the brain was never intended to be used that way. That's why so many people are having a hard time. They're hooked on social media. They're hooked on other people's lives. They're always comparing to somebody else, and you can never do that. If you do, it's a recipe for disaster. So take it off your phone. Make it harder for you to do that. And try it for 30 days. See how you feel. Okay, next, sleep. This one's a challenging one for me. I do, and I'll get to it in just a second. I do 3 days in one, 6 hours. I do 6, 6, and 6. I get up at about 3 o'clock. So from 4 to 9 or 10, right in there's 6 hours. That's a day. Then the next day is up to about 1 or 1:30. Then the next day is 6 more hours. So you got 18 hours in there. Then you sleep for 6 hours. Now, should you sleep more than 6 hours? Probably. Have I been able to do it? No, I tracked it for 5 years. I got 6 hours and 31 minutes. Is that a little excessive as far as tracking things? Yes. But you have to measure what you want to improve. And so if you're measuring something, your sleep is so important. Now, Brendan, my mentor, does a thing called 3-2-1. What does that mean? 3 hours before you go to bed, stop eating. Go to bed 3 hours after you ate. 2 hours, stop working. Maybe go for a walk in the evening. Then 1 hour, no screen time. How many times are we carrying this into our bed? And we're scrolling, blue light, judgment. This is affecting this. Or watching TV, and we say, hey, I need to do it to go to bed. Well, not really, but that's the way you've been used to. You've conditioned yourself. If you're going to get a quality sleep, you can't program your subconscious mind with the commercials, with the action, with all the things that are on a TV and everything that's on this. So put that thing away. No scrolling, no phone for the last hour. Try 3-2-1. Test it. Use it. Create that habit and see the quality of sleep that you have. There's other things that you can do in the sleep area. But if you're not removing yourself from social media, getting quality sleep, and doing a 3-2-1, sleep will springboard you in good sleep to a productive day, a mentally sharp day. You'll eat better. You'll make better decisions in your business. Everything will be better when you get good quality sleep. It's an area I'm working on. Now, I get up early, very early. Sometimes, once my eyes open up, I haven't been able to condition to get back. So I have an active brain, ADD. It's creative, but it's active. And so once I open my eyes, I'm ready to get up. I'm ready to go. So I'm working on that area to get that quality sleep, to get that 8 hours. I remember Jeff Bezos said that he got 8 hours of sleep. Now, I don't know that there's anybody busier than him besides Elon Musk. He doesn't get 8 hours. He sleeps on the factory floor. Now, some people can do that, but most can't. Most need a good night's rest. And he said he would focus on getting 8 hours of sleep so he can make one quality decision. One, not 100, one. So if it works for a guy like that, it might work for you. So 3, 2, 1. If you're not sure of that, look it up. Google it. Go on. There's plenty of videos at it. The last one is, okay, I'm looking at the notes here because I just found this out. I just did this morning. No one else in your life that's lifting you up. You are the person. Meaning, if it's up to you, you have to make those decisions for yourself. Don't depend on somebody else to bail you out. Take that responsibility. Do it. Surround yourself with people that lift you up, that encourage you. Because the more you're around those people, the better. And so in your mental clarity, know if it's meant to be, it's up to me. Not that you're doing it by yourself, but take responsibility for that. And know that, hey, look, I got to do it. I'm setting these goals, and it's up to me to look at them. It's up to me to have Friday finishers that Brendan talks about. That you're going to finish these on Friday. They're not negotiable. You're responsible for it. And when you're around people that encourage you and that are around those positive people that are lifting you up, you have a better chance as opposed to somebody that could be toxic in your life or around the people that you hang around. You can now find your mentors online, and you could put yourself in a position to improve from their instruction. Consuming that kind of information versus just scrolling social media and looking at any Joe Blow who is pretending to be something that they're not. Follow people. Brendan Bouchard, Daniel Priestley, Seth Godin, Jeff Bourgeois, Chris Dew. I'm trying to think of a couple here. I have Ed Milet. And I could go on to these other people that you want to learn from. So putting the responsibility, it's up to you to get a purpose in your life because the stats support it. A person that retires and doesn't have a purpose dies within 2 years. So you leave an environment and you go and I was just talking to somebody about that. They were struggling in that area. And that's real important. Even though, hey, retirement's great. You don't have to go to anywhere in the morning. You still have to have purpose. And purpose will continue your life. It'll excite your life. So if you get off that busy bus, let's say you had a busy career and you're just reacting, now you have to get a purpose plane. You got to have purpose in your life. And that's a separate video, a separate strategy. But the main thing is that you have a purpose in your life. And when you do, everything's better. So I hope you enjoyed it. We'll put in the show notes, this was just off the top of my head, what I learned from Growth Day. And that reminds me, I want to give you something. Okay. So you can go and try it for free for 7 days. Then it's $49 a month. Go to PeteKane.me/Growth Day. I'm going to give you another gift. And if you do that, send us an email at support@PeteKane.me. We got a free course for you on mindset, goals, and habits. Okay. Now, this You don't even have to give us anything. Just take it. It's our masterclass. Masterclass, it's our ecosystem. There's 10 key parts to grow and scale your life in 2025 and beyond by taking a master class. Learn, pour into yourself, invest in yourself, put yourself out there with information that's going to make you better. Growth Day will absolutely change your life. And that's a small investment to change your life if you apply it. Masterclass number, I think it's 4 or 5, is Growth Day. Number 1 is an assessment. And if you're have never taken an assessment with us, take one. I got to know where you want to go if I'm going to help you on a podcast or in life. Because if you don't let me know where you are, I'm guessing. I got to know what your plans are, what your dreams are, what your goals are. And you can take that assessment at pcain.me. So I hope if this is something that you think is valuable, share it with somebody. The first of the year is a couple of days away, and we want to have the best year ever. And we're in the most explosive time of our life. There's going to be generational wealth created this next year. And the first quarter of the first year, it's going to be important that you get off to a good start. So take that assessment, share it with somebody, help somebody, focus on helping others. What is it? Zig Ziglar said, help enough people get what they want and you'll get what you want. Help others, have a heart to serve, lead, serve it. Leadership is important, and that's helping your person next to you. So we've had a crazy 4 years. I mean, wacky crazy. Now we're getting back to where make America great again. Make you great again. Get off the mental chaos of whatever and get in that where you have purpose in your life. And when you have purpose in your life, you'll have joy in your life. Serve others. Thank you. Be bold, make an impact, and have fun. Be bold.